Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hey everybody, and welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. Here on this Friday, Brett Pritchard and David Jones here with you for your 12 to 1 lunch hour. Some people are still working, David.
They are.
So some people are still out grinding. Some people just now starting to shop. Were you one of those? You just started?
Yeah, but this is a one gift Christmas. Hey, when you have Brett, when you have 7 grandchildren,
Right.
ain't a whole lot of money left for the spouse. She gets
Somebody
one
has
gift.
to take one on the chin.
She had to take it, and I'm taking it too.
Well,
So, yeah.
you know, you relish in the joy of giving, right?
Absolutely.
Instead of getting, and that's it.
And I'm not-
But well, a couple days away from Christmas, we hope everybody is warm today. As I feel like we're at the North Pole with about a 18 to 19 degree temperature outside and a wind chill that makes it feel like it's about 3. So going to be a little bit worse tonight and the next few days, but then it'll start warming back up. You know, I think next week, toward the end of the week, it's going to be back in the 60s. So,
68 next Sunday.
I mean, you know, if you don't like it, just hold on a minute. It'll change here in Alabama. Again, want to thank our sponsors, Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, and Big Fish Real Estate Group. Here at Lake Martin, I couldn't do our program every day without those for sure, and all our other sponsors out there. Glad that you've tuned us in. We'll take your comments and we'll take your phone calls here on the program. A lot to cover here as we get ready to head into the holidays ourselves. And again, want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas out there. Tight end Ronaldo Fairweather does finally sign. We'll talk some more about this class. We talked about it yesterday on the program. We'll dive into it a little bit more. Recruiting rankings still kind of ebbing and flowing. I think Auburn has moved around. They're at 17 on 3. They're at 20 on 24/7. I think they're in the low 20s or the high 20s on ESPN 300. So it's just kind of an ebb and flow. But, again, going back, the remarkable thing about this class is what Hugh Freeze was able to do in just a small amount of time. And I know we kind of compared Lane Kiffin yesterday and Hugh Freeze because those were the two top coaches I think it came down to for the Auburn job. Auburn ended up going with Hugh Freeze. You know, I don't know. I mean, Lane Kiffin's definitely a hot commodity. He's a good coach. But he does struggle on the recruiting trail. So what does that say about him and what he's able to bring in? It says he's a pretty doggone good coach because the last 3 seasons he's put a really good product on the field with maybe not as good a talent as some of the teams he's played against. But, you know, in this league, if you're going to be at the top of the conference, you got to get the players. And he struggles getting the players.
He does. Well, Brett, that's why. Unless all of that was just speculation, and we know how the media takes things and run with it, we on here we're saying, looks like Kiffin, looks like Kiffin. I always, in the back of my mind, had a little uneasy feeling about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
Okay. And he does do a great job of what he's got. I was surprised that he didn't take it because I don't think he'll ever win a national championship at Ole Miss. And I think at Auburn it's been proven you can do that. But these last 3 weeks have proven to us that Hugh Freeze was the right choice. My gosh.
Well, you know, I want to bring up something Hugh Freeze said this week about, and he was asking his press conference, a recruiting press conference, and they said how much did the new facility have to do with you being able, and he didn't want to diminish it. He said, well, he goes, you know, I think that's important, but he said kids nowadays are different, and he said, yeah, we didn't really have a lot of time. He said we'll get in here and get it settled. And get more kids in here to see our you know, facility that we just opened. But, you know, it makes you wonder because we've talked about it on this show before. You know, the day and age of building these massive complexes and facilities and all, adding on to stadiums is over. I mean, the money's going to have to go into the players. We're already seeing that. They would rather take the money personally than you build them a $92 million, you know, all football-only facility that's got all the amenities that it has. I guess what I'm saying is that Hugh Freeze, right out of the gate, didn't say some politically correct answer that, oh, man, that was great, and, that was the one thing, we opened that facility. He kind of was honest about it, and it wasn't a slap in the face of the people that put the money up, but it's kind of like, that's not what kids are making a decision on. They're making a decision on what kind of deal they can get when they go to these schools. It's pretty cut and dried now.
Right or wrong, that's correct, Brett. It's gone from shiny toys and objects
Right.
to
personal shiny toys and objects.
Yeah. What can you give me?
Right.
Now we all know that's been going on to a degree at certain places for a long time, and a lot of different places. But I still believe that connecting with these kids and building relationships is the top priority, and Hugh Freeze also said that. Now, and y'all mentioned this yesterday. I can shine a little bit more light on that because I have met with a guy from Own to Victory, had a nice long lunch with one of the guys that works with Own to Victory. And they're doing a phenomenal job. Right or wrong, if you don't jump in that pool,
Right.
you're going to be so far behind.
Again, you talk about coming down to the very end. There was a kid, I think, 2 days ago that decommitted, I think, from Ohio State, committed to Oregon, decommitted from Oregon, and then ended up signing with Oklahoma, all in a 24-hour period of time.
And you know good and well what that was about.
Well, again, but I'm making a point that it just shows you, and I don't know, the kid may have visited Oklahoma and may have been one of his top 3 schools, but to hop around that drastically in a 24-hour period, it just tells you what it ended up being about. And it ain't got anything to do, he didn't care what uniform he ended up putting on. And it was about, what are you going to do for me now? And I thought there was another coach, I can't remember who said it, may have been Freeze, may have been somebody else, that, again, that's a big deal, but going and choosing a school that you're going to get developed correctly and planning for the future to make more money than what you're getting right now should be a major part. Now, the NIL, he said, should be in the equation, but that shouldn't be the main part of what you're doing if you're a top prospect. Now, again, if you're a top prospect, you're going to get the better deals,
right.
But you should have more of a vision of, do I fit that program better? I think Luke called in yesterday and talked about that 5-star offensive tackle going to Alabama instead of Iowa. He was committed to Iowa, and he talked about the roster, and whether we all want to say it's right or wrong, you look at Iowa's roster and you look at Alabama's roster, it's night and day. And he said, he made a mention, he said, I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be surrounded by players that are going to challenge me and make me better to get me to the next level. And the kid said he took less of a deal to go there than what he would have gotten at Iowa. I mean, look, whether you want to say, whether fans want to say that's BS or not, I think that's more of a realistic way to look at it than anything right now.
It absolutely is. Another point that Luke made that I thought was good and is, we all love it when somebody flips to us.
Well,
but when somebody flips away from us, we want to get pissed off and mad. Look, hey, you got to take the good with the bad. It is what it is.
And the common thing to say is when you lose somebody, we didn't want him anyway, some of that crap. But at the end of the day, that's part of the game. You're going to get some, you're going to lose some. Some are going to hurt worse than others. Mm-hmm. Some recruits, that you get are going to make a bigger impact than others when you flip them. And it's just part of it. But Brett, it's a different world now.
I need to make another point to piggyback off what you said. It's not about the end game anymore with these kids. It's not about going to a school where my major will get me that job that I need in that career if I don't make it to the league. It's not about those relationships and that place where I feel like home so much. There's no end game.
We're looking at what's right in front of us right now.
And guess what? That guy that went through 3 different schools in 24 hours, guess what? In a year or two, if things ain't go to suit him, guess what? He's going to be in the portal.
Yeah, well, a lot of these guys, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch over the next year when this football season's over. All these top recruits that ended up making decisions at the last minute and going where, how many of them end up going somewhere else next year?
That's right.
How many of them end up going in the portal and ended up going to a college that was in their top 3 that they didn't choose, and I go, okay, well, it didn't work out over here. I'm just going to go over here. Mm-hmm. That's the luxury now that these kids have. Mm-hmm. And if these universities are willing to take them the next year, they can go over here and say, okay, this was my first choice, but if it doesn't work out, I'll go down here. I mean, we're seeing it by every school. Every school's able to take advantage of this portal, and the better schools, the stronger schools are going to get the pick of the litter. They get to go out and get the best players out of the portal or get a shot at the best players if they've got room for them. Auburn fans ought to be excited that you've got a portal that you can kind of make up the gap a little bit in your roster, because when you do happen to have a guy that ran your program in the ground for 2 years, in the old days, it'd take you 5, 6, 7 years to recover from something like this.
That's right.
Now it doesn't take you that long.
Well, and that's coming to fruition with that list you've got right in front of you there, and there will be more. So kudos to Coach Freese. Phenomenal job.
Boy, how bad does that make Harsin look, though?
Yeah.
I mean, in 3 weeks, this guy gets out there, and again, we've belabored this point till we're just tired of talking about it, but this was the strongest class in Alabama history, recruiting-wise. I'm talking about prospects. And Auburn didn't get a single top 10 player. Keldrick Fault was ranked 11th, and that was a big flip, don't get me wrong. But it doesn't matter, even on a bad year, you ought to get 1 or 2. And that just tells you how out of touch Brian Harsin was totally. I mean, your best class, one of your 2 major universities in the state, and you ain't in the mix for really any of them in the top 10.
Well, I took the bait.
That's a joke.
I took the bait the first year. I wanted to support him because I'm an Auburn guy, and that's what I do. But
we tried to tell you the wrong.
I know. Well, you and Terry. Terry's the same guy that said that Stetson Bennett couldn't bag groceries in public. Yeah. So, what does he know? But I got to give him a hard time. He always busts my chops. But, hey, just the things we know now that we didn't quite know at the beginning.
Yogi Bear said hindsight's 50.
Oh, blow my mind.
Up against our first break of the show. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls, LLC.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, it's Brett Pritchard, and I'm here to tell you all about Sims Foods, who you know better as Wickles Pickles. Wickles Pickles, that 90-year-old recipe, wickedly delicious. Relish, okra, and pickles. From Saturday sandwiches, tailgate snacks, to holiday dinners with your family and friends. From their family to yours, Wickles Pickles, those wickedly delicious pickles.
Wickles Pickles, wickedly delicious pickles.
Concrete Basement and Walls LLC, 205-229-0234. Call owner Eric McKenzie now to get your free quote now. 205-229-0234. Concrete Basement and Walls LLC.
No monthly payments until springtime at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. New Chevy Silverado 1500 trucks discounted up to $9,250 off. Chevy Equinox up to $5,500 off, or payments as low as $369 a month. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way at Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and David Jones here. Got comments coming in. We'd like to take your calls as well if you'd like to. Give us a shout, 256-234-6221 to be on the program. Ty said, do you think there will be some tickets available for the Florida game on Wednesday since the students are gone? I do think there'll be some available tickets there. I think that's a big game, obviously. They're all big in SEC play, but, you know, Florida – and we'll go down these records here in a little bit, kind of show you where everybody stands going into SEC play. But that, and Auburn hadn't lost in Neville Arena very much in the last 3 years. Got to win that one. Need to get off to a strong start. That was good, getting 1 of 2 on the road this past week out west to kind of carry a little bit of momentum into to SEC play. John Paul said he wants to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Jim said you're dead on with the money-driving player. Travis Hunter, last year numbers. One recruit tweeted Florida State called him before they ever entered the portal and offered money. Opted to stay with Prime and go to the Buffaloes, and that's where he's going to go. He said rules need to be made on when and how they can contact on other teams. And I agree with that. I think you make a bunch of rules. That doesn't mean everybody's going to stick to them.
How are you going to enforce it?
You know, you're telling me right now that people aren't contacting these players now at schools saying, hey, I see you sitting over on the bench. You can be playing for us next year. Why don't you come on? You know that's going on. Hey, and look, the officials at the college, the coaches may not be doing it, David, but those kids can pick up the phone and call each other. Sure. There ain't no rule against that. Right. They pick up the phone and say, hey, man, I need you over here. I need you on my team. Quit sitting on the bench over here behind 3 guys. You can start for us. You know that goes on.
Well, guys jump in the portal knowing where they're going to end up next.
They already know. Which line do we go to first?
2.
Well, that was the wrong. If we was on a game show, we just lost. Caller, go ahead. Well, how's it going?
Okay.
What you got?
I wanted to know what about Carmelo Anthony and Jeremiah Cobb? I thought they had committed to Auburn, but I hadn't seen them on the list.
Carmelo English went to Michigan, and Jeremiah Cobb is going to sign in February with his other high school teammates. They're going to do one big signing ceremony in February. He's locked into Auburn. He's not going anywhere. He let them know what his plans were.
Okay. What about Cobb?
That was Cobb. That's what I'm talking about. Jeremiah Cobb's doing that. Carmelo English has gone to Michigan.
Okay.
So we lost him. He decommitted anyway about a month ago, and it was between us and Michigan, but I think he had already moved on to what he wanted to do.
Okay. Well, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Glenn. Appreciate your call, buddy. Yeah, I mean, Phoenix City, good kid. I mean, good player. Going to go take his talents, like LeBron said, all the way up to Ann Arbor. So, some other news in recruiting here real quick. We'll jump back into basketball, David. It looks like Dylan Wade, it's a big-time target from Tulsa, offensive tackle, 6'4", 290. From his tweets and ball indications, it looks like he will pledge his commitment maybe very soon to Auburn out of the transfer portal. That'll add another offensive lineman to this class. It's amazing to look at this class and what Auburn was able to do on the line of scrimmage. I mean, from what we've been doing the last 3 or 4 years to what we did this year in a very short amount of time. Now, a couple of those guys were already committed before Freeze got here, but he made it a priority. Tyler Johnson, Connor Liu, Braden Joyner, Clay Whedon, Xavion Miller, and now possibly Dylan Wade to go along with what we already have on the roster. Now, all of a sudden, the offensive line doesn't look as bad as it did. Now, we still got some holes, and as Freeze said, it kind of makes him cringe a little bit sometimes when he looks at the roster, and he's alluding to that defensive line. Yeah. So he's kind of made some ground on the offensive line. You got through February to see if there's a few more pieces that you can add. You don't want to just take anybody.
No.
But if you can add a quality piece or two, you definitely want to do that, and you want to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Well, that's – Brett, that's if the young man from Tulsa signs, that's 6 interiors and a tight end in this class.
And let me tell you something. Fairweather, don't sleep on this. This kid upgraded to a 4-star in the transfer portal, 6'5", 210 pounds, and in Hugh Freeze-style offense, he is a major target. And this kid is athletic. He's a very athletic 6'5". He's a guy that I think, along with Landon King, can flourish in this Hugh Freeze-style offense.
Well, that's all these threes right here, Brett. You get them with Hugh Freeze, you may as well add another star. They're like 4s because of the development that they're going to get. I firmly believe.
And I'm going to tell you, Robbie Ashford, look, for what that kid played through, injured for the most part through the last half of the year, and his physical nature running the football, with him coming in and getting developed throwing, I mean, he made some really good throws in the Alabama game, especially that one in the corner. He's strong. His arm strength's not a question, but being able to do the things, I'm telling you, Robbie Ashford could develop into a phenomenal quarterback. And, you know, I've heard so many Auburn fans say, look, it'd be good, and we do need to go get another quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But, and I think Hugh Freeze tweeted out yesterday, I'm looking forward to working with Robbie Ashford and this team moving forward. He sees the potential. He knows what the kid can do. And, you got to coach people up, man. You got to be able to do that kind of stuff. So.
I'm excited. I think he'll be our QB1 next year, and I'm excited to see Hugh Freeze get his hand.
Well, I'm pulling for him.
Absolutely.
I mean, what he was able to do, and I don't know, Kane, do we have a call, brother? There's a call. Okay, I just need to get that signal so we know. Caller, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Y'all going to break it?
Yeah, we're going to go to break. If you'll just hold on with us, we'll catch you on the flip side. I didn't know how long you were holding. We'll catch you when we come back from this break. Stay tuned for the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local Cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route, to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic, from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new, convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, and we'll go right back to the phone line. We've got a couple guys. Holden James, what's up, brother?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for holding through the break.
I for some reason, I done got fascinated with this NIL stuff. Now, okay, just say I talked with Andy and them by the other day, but they kind of confused too. All right, say we got $15 million in the NIL. All right. Now, who on this particular team right now will be garnering the most money, and what will you pay them? Because look like these people saying, well, you can make as much money as you can make, but look like it's not working for college football because all these people keep moving around. So they must not be getting no money. So you
James, the NIL just started. So, I mean, a lot of these teams just over the last year have been able to start building a fund or war chest or collective or whatever you want to call it, and then they have to determine and divvy that out however they see fit. Now, name, image, and likeness means a kid can go out there and sign a deal with Joe's Auto Sales for whatever price he wants to sell it, to sign it for, and he can promote Joe's Auto Sales on commercials and all that kind of stuff, whereas in the past you couldn't do that. So there's all type, and then, the collective is what you decide you want to pay your players on your roster. The university says, look, we got this, and we're going to divvy out this much money per player, and they can go do whatever they want to do with it. So that's kind of how it all works out.
Okay, so now, if we got the $15 million like they say,
right?
Then I'm just using him as an example. Tank going in, Tank will be a 5th or 6th round pick. He'll probably get cut in a year. Wooten going in, he'd probably be a 4th round pick. He may make it. You got the linebacker, Papo. So if I got the $15 million now that they say we got, why wouldn't you go to them guys and say, hey, man, we'll give you $300,000 just to stay here. At least you'll make more than you would.
Who's to say that's not happening? Who's to say that's not happening?
They don't.
But I'm not saying in that particular instance. I'm saying that they may have offered them something. It may have not been good enough. They may have decided through an agent or whatever they wanted to go on and try their luck at the NFL. I mean, that doesn't mean that Auburn didn't try to keep them and try to offer them something.
Let me ask you this then. Who on that team right now would you pay?
Well, I don't think it works kind of like that.
No,
I think it's.
Let me shine a little light on this.
Shine it. Yep.
James, here's what name, image, and likeness was created for. And I know this for a fact because I've talked to Own to Victory. They arrange payment for all athletes at Auburn.
Right.
Matter of fact, our volleyball team right now is all on NIL.
That's right.
Someone earmarked money to go toward our volleyball team.
Correct.
But you say collective, though. I'm talking about the collective now.
That is the collective.
That money went into the collective, but they earmarked it for volleyball. But Here's the thing. You're not going to blow that whole $15 million.
On a couple players to try to get them to stay.
It's for personal appearances, autograph sessions, meet and greets. That's how most of the athletes at Auburn are earning NIL money. Now, what Texas A&M did over there, I have no idea, but that was the intent of NIL.
So we can't find out what they making because evidently, if we thought this was the Wild Wild West and I saw what Pitt coach say, Dre Mays at North Carolina been offered $5 million from 2 schools.
Right.
And then we can't find out what our guys are getting or our guys getting enough.
Well, you don't know where that money came from, James. I mean, you could have a donor say, I want that kid to be our quarterback, and he inject $5 million into the collective, and he wants it to go to that kid. I mean, you can't really control that.
I understand.
Yeah.
So basically, they ain't making that much money, most of them.
That's correct.
Correct. Overall,
right now,
up and down the roster, yes,
that
you're
is
exactly
correct.
right.
Because I would be going down to Lynch Toyota and say, hey, man, let me do an appearance for one of these SUVs.
That's exactly what they can. I mean, it's that Dakotas Crawford kid that was at Nebraska signed with some heating and air group, and I'm sure it wasn't a lot of money, but it was, he did sign a deal with them. So, but that's kind of how it works. Hey, brother, we got another call waiting.
All right, thanks.
We appreciate it. Thank you, James. I think it's James number 2.
James A.
I don't know if I'm going to be number 2 or not, but I'll just be James.
You just in second line. That's
number 1 in our hearts.
Doing all right today?
We're good, brother. How are you?
Getting ready for Christmas.
There you go.
Just watching y'all sit here. Coach, don't get too comfortable in that chair. It may just disappear all the way into Silicaga somewhere. And you probably got the button pushed down now.
Hey, I cannot feel this chair, this side of the screen adequately, that's for sure. Andy's up in Kentucky.
I'm teasing with y'all. I have a little question. And I asked Candy one day last week, and maybe y'all could have heard it in something on it. Now, Keandre Jones had been probably our most solid lineman last year and the year before, I think. I think he made second or third team as a sophomore or freshman, I guess, as a second or third team All-SEC. It looks like I think he got sick in the middle of the year last year with COVID, but he's, as I understand it, it's in the portal, but he's not doing anything. I think he's probably going to come back. I hope he does, but he is one lineman. If I could knock about 10 pounds off, I'm down to about 330 or 325, something like that.
I think
he goes after him. I mean, I never did think he was, maybe an All-American or anything, but he was pretty solid.
He and Jeremiah Wright, I thought both were.
Yeah, I'll go along with that 100%. They couldn't decide what side they were going to use him on. He swapped about 4 times, and when he finally got settled over at that guard, he looked good too.
Right.
But
and I think that's a big deal on a lot of these kids. We had a coaching staff prior to this that didn't know where to put anybody, and you start, you're only successful as where somebody knows to put you and where you can flourish, and that's part of it. Putting guys in a position to be successful, and they may be terrible at this position. You move them over a couple spots and maybe an All-American. That happens. It can be that way.
Yeah, it can. But I'm real impressed with the staff hires and also the players that they've been able to get in here. And I think we might be fooling some people next year. I hope so. I hope we get voted dead last in the West again.
We probably will.
That starts. That's the way Auburn always does it. They if they fall down, they can get back up quick.
Right.
Now they really have a shot at it, I think too. But I'm real optimistic about it. And
well, we appreciate it, James. Thank you, brother. We appreciate your call. We got to get
y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you,
Merry
buddy.
Christmas,
Thank
James.
you so
Appreciate
much.
you.
Appreciate you. Up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce, because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker, 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 Brubaker.
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. A couple segments left in today's show. Get your call in, 256-234-6221. We've got some comments. Ty said with Hugh Freeze working with Ashford, I believe, by his junior or senior year, Ashford could be in Heisman conversation. Maybe he could. I just want him to be a really good, solid quarterback, first and foremost. But Robbie Ashford's got all the athletic ability under the right person to develop into whatever he wants to develop in. I do believe that.
I'm not going quite as far as Ty did. I'm not putting anything past Coach Freeze.
Well, I don't think anybody ever saw Trey Mason being in the talk for Heisman, and he did.
Right.
You know, you don't know. You don't know. Everybody thought Spencer Rattler was going to be a sure enough fire bet to be a Heisman winner by year 2 or 3, wherever he was.
Yep.
Terrible. I mean, you don't know. Kids come out of the blue. You think that kid from TCU at the beginning of the year was on the radar screen to be a Heisman contender?
No.
Everybody had already given it to C.J. Stroud, hadn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then look at Caleb Williams. He comes back and wins the thing. I mean, there was you have years like this where you're like, there ain't a for sure, solid person that you just going to put all your money on to win it.
Well, I told you off the air, and I stand by this. We couldn't find a better running quarterback in the country than Robbie Ashford right now.
Hendon Hooker. I mean, look at Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker, in my opinion, should have been in New York, even though he got in.
Absolutely.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, this is me, Colin. I got two more things. One is DeAndre Jones. He signed with Florida State.
Right, he did. He sure did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
he was not in the portal anymore.
And three things. Second thing is, Joy, you got old Rah and Dominique Lovett from Missouri and Mississippi State. Ain't that something? And then the third thing is just here. I don't know, Brett, if you or David go to any of these press conferences with Hugh Freeze, but if you don't mind, I hope they incorporate some of the run game, power run game that Wilfred and Cadillac them did at the end of the year, because that makes for a better running back to me, that you got different ways to go. But I just hope that he incorporate that some kind of way. And if y'all go to any of these press conferences, please ask him, is he planning on incorporating some of that? Because they did a wonderful job at the end of the year with the different pitches and power and all that good stuff.
Well, Hugh Freeze is a running style coach. I mean, he's not.
Yeah, but I'm saying I know that, but they do this little one back mesh up the middle, man. I can't stand that play.
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of that, but they may interject some of that. Hey, I think a lot of why Auburn did what they did coming down the stretches because that's all they could do. So I mean, you knew going in they were going to run the ball 90% of the time. So they just sold out on that, and they did it. I'm not saying they won't incorporate that into their packages and their offense because it did work, but that's not the style offense he's going to run.
Yeah, I know it, man, and I'm telling you that if don't be another Gus Malzahn and don't expand your offense. That's all I got to say. And one more thing. We got about 9 tight ends on the scholarship. What we going to do with all them tight ends? Thank you, and I listen.
Appreciate it, Jane. We're going to go with a 9 tight end set. How about that? Look, I mean, I think Hugh Freeze is going to use, 2 or 3 of them for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to work their way in. I know that it's been a long time. Shanker was a big part of, you know, whatever Harsin was doing. I hate to even talk about him.
Yeah.
But Gus Malzahn loved tight ends. He just never threw to them. I think this is going to be different. And you've got a boatload of them, like you said, James. And Landon King is kind of a hybrid guy. Fairweather can be kind of a hybrid guy, and it's not these true power tight ends like you used to see. No. I mean, you see what works in the NFL now, and you know, with Kittle and Kelsey and those type guys. Yep. They're more of just a bigger receiver.
Yeah, very athletic.
Right.
And let me say this too, to answer James' question, from a coaching standpoint. Obviously, on the college level, you can recruit to your philosophy and style. Right. However, I think with Coach Freeze coming in new and not being able to just totally redo the roster,
right.
I think that he will study film and see what these guys' strengths are and plug them into what they do best within his offensive philosophy. I
want to go back and talk about Keandre Jones. We were in such a hurry to get to the other call because we're running out of time.
I knew he'd left.
It was in my mind that he had signed with Florida State. Yeah. And again, though, you know, wish him nothing but the best. And he was a pretty solid offensive lineman for Auburn. But
Ra went to Georgia?
Yeah, he ended up going to Georgia. Well,
what about the running back from Mississippi State?
I don't know if he ended up going. I don't know where he ended up going. I hadn't looked at it, but I knew Ra yesterday ended up going to Georgia, and it was. Hey, look.
Kind of wanted him.
Well, everybody did.
Yeah.
A lot of people did. I think Auburn had a legit shot at him. He really liked Coach Freeze, and you saw the post that he made. And at the end of the day,
hey, you win some, you lose some.
Money talks, BS walks, right?
That's right.
That's how it goes. Only a couple more minutes in this segment, then we'll have our final segment on the program. I want to go over to this basketball kind of lead in. The standings as it sits right now, this is what you got in the SEC. Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State, and Missouri all 11-1. Tennessee, Alabama, and Auburn all at 10-2. Georgia is 9-3. Boy, that's a night and day from where they've been.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with Tom Crean exiting. Kentucky is at 8-3. Ole Miss 8-4. Florida 7-5. That's why I said, David, with Florida coming in, your first opponent, even though we've been struggling, I know we play well at Neville Arena. Don't slip up and lose that game.
No,
that's one you got to look on the schedule, and when you look down through there, you got to say that is a win. If we're going to be a contender, that's got to be a win. If you lose that one, you're getting yourself behind the 8 ball. Texas A&M 6-5, and South Carolina and Vanderbilt are both 6-6, and that's your standings going into SEC play.
Well, I told Andy last week, I know you were probably watching the show, we have to come off this West Coast trip in a good frame of mind. If we'd lost that game the other night, we'd really be sitting here talking about, man.
Well, we turned the ball. Let's say this about the USC game. Turned the ball over 25 times and lost by 3. We did more damage. It wasn't what USC did. It was what we did.
And Wendell was off the floor too.
So, I mean, look, when you're 10-2 and you're trying to grab negative stuff, I mean, that's where you want to be. You want to go into a season or SEC play with a 10. I'll take it every year. I'll just put it that way.
I'll say this.
I'll take 10-2 going into SEC every year.
In Bruce, I trust.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, against the final break of the program. Stay tuned. One more coming your way.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health. Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the program. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I know you're excited wherever you are out there about the Christmas holidays coming up this weekend. We want all of you to have a safe and happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. We'll have a few days ourselves. We won't have a show on Monday, but we'll be back in action next Tuesday. So ready to roll with some more Auburn Blitz and some Sportz Blitz and Lake Martin Sports Roundup. Just throwing it all out there. Yeah. We'll get started on Tuesday. But bowl games today, Louisiana and Houston. That's at 2 o'clock here in just a little bit on ESPN. Another SEC team in action today. Missouri will take on Wake Forest at 5:30 on ESPN. Possibly after that game, I wouldn't be surprised if Missouri's wide receiver coach named the Auburn wide receiver coach coming over. So we'll have to wait and see how that all plays out.
Does that round up?
That's it. That's our own field staff right there.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Saturday, Hawaii Bowl, Middle Tennessee and San Diego State. Hey, look, there's worse places to go. You know, if you got to be in a bowl game and it's not the playoffs, you know, I know UAB went to the Bahamas Bowl. That's a pretty good draw.
Well,
Hawaii Bowl, that's a pretty good draw.
Brett, you know, you and I were talking about Brooklyn next year for basketball, and I had told my wife how excited I was. And she said, hold the phone there, sir. She said, the next season they're going to Maui. Brooklyn may be put on hold. I don't know.
Well, that's a year off.
Yeah, right.
That's a year off.
Maybe I'll win the lottery or something.
Maybe so. But anyway, Yeah, you look at it from a standpoint of, trips. Hey, if your team makes it, hey, look, Florida fans, they had a chance to go to Las Vegas. Now the game wasn't pretty, 30-3.
That was not pretty.
But yeah, I would expect after the and then one more on Monday, next New Mexico State and Bowling Green. That'll be at 1:30, the Quick Lane Bowl. But going back to the Gasparilla Bowl with Missouri tonight, or this afternoon, late this afternoon, Wake Forest, it should be a good game. Wake Forest, a good football team. Missouri kind of picked it up, but wide receiver coach there, by all rights, has been the leader there. Jacob Peeler is his name. He got a reputation for developing what they call nasty wideouts, NWOs, and very physical.
Sounds good to me.
Physical, strong, get after your rear end wide receiver. So kind of a style of what you want when you play football. You want to be known as a physical group, and Hugh Freeze made that known in his press conference initially. Is that we got to be physical, and got to have that reputation. So we'll see. Possibly Jacob Peeler. I'm not saying as soon as the game's over he'll be named, but following that game, I'm thinking that he possibly could be.
But Brett, I used to tell my wide receivers when I was coaching, and I know Coach Grider.
Did you coach a bunch of NWOs?
I told them, if you don't block, I'm not throwing it to you.
I thought that's what your middle initials were, David NWO Jones.
Hey,
so
I love wide receivers, and I told them, if you don't block, we may not throw it to you.
Well,
that'll change your team.
Well, again, a lot of times those edge rushes are dependent on wide receivers picking up their block,
Absolutely.
being able to get yards, on the edge. So it's more than just going out for a pass for sure.
Absolutely.
Again, Auburn will be in action on the basketball court on December the 28th against Florida. That'll be the first SEC game. Look,
I'll be there for that one.
This is it's a long, grueling schedule of 18 games. You get 9 of them at home. Auburn's done well of defending home court the last several years. Got to continue to do that. I don't know what this team will be able to do. Last year they made it all the way to number 1, and not this team, but last year's team made it to number 1, went to Arkansas, lost that game, and kind of never got their mojo back after that game.
Yeah.
This team on the flip side has had some issues. They've navigated the first 12 games and won 10 of them. It hasn't been pretty a lot of times offensively, but they do play really good defense. If you start to get some guys, I thought Janai Broom over the last 2 weeks has really stepped his game up. That was important.
Jalen Williams.
If you can get a few of these other guys to turn it around offensively, you got to start scoring in the 80s.
That's the thing, Brett. Our defense is there.
Right.
They ran into and I listened the other night. Andy and Brad Law did a great job, but they made it evident that the officiating style out there on the West Coast, we weren't used to that. We couldn't play as physical as we're used to. I'm just glad it's Florida first and not a Kentucky.
Well, I was going to say it's prime opportunity. I think Florida's still going to put a good team on the floor.
Sure.
But they're 7-5. Let's just call it like it is. They're at the bottom third of the conference right now going into SEC play, and you're at the top. You better win that game at home if you're going to be a contender. So,
that's right. Yeah.
and that's where Bruce Pearl has this program. That's where this team. Look, talent on paper, it's as talented as any we've ever had. But Johan Traore, Chance Westry, some of these guys that you knew you were going to have to depend on coming into the season, going to have to step up.
Brett, depth is only good if depth produces.
Right. And Jalen Williams, right now, my hat's off to him. Last couple of weeks, he's been the leader on this team. He's kind of taken that ownership, and I hope he does continue that. It doesn't matter who it is. Then you add pieces, and then look, Moore has done well. He's played over his head. Guard play still sporadic. Katie Johnson, just not there, man. Just not there.
You know what Bruce told Jalen the other night? He said, "You're the best player on the floor. Act like it." You got to love that. But
well, sometimes you just got to remind kids.
That's right.
Hey, Janai Broom needs to be reminded he's probably going to be the biggest guy on the floor night in, night out. Go out there and play like it. Don't play timid. And he looks totally different the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
That's going to wrap it up for the Friday edition. Again, Merry Christmas out there to every single body that watches our program. We can't say enough how much we appreciate all of you. We hope you have the best Christmas yet. We'll catch you next week for some more Auburn Blitz. For David Jones, I'm Brett Pritchard saying so long. We'll catch you next time.